If you stopped on this video now, exactly at this instant, in the middle of everything scrolling across your screen, it wasn't the algorithm. It was me. I, Ayla, feminine emissary of the Pleiadian High Council, transmitting from Alcyone a message that already has a name, an address, and a soul. And the soul on the other side of this transmission is yours, my starseed. Breathe deeply with me. Feel now, exactly at the level of your chest, a little to the left of the center of your sternum, a gentle warmth beginning to open, as if an ancient seal were being touched. Notice the delicate pressure between your eyebrows, a discreet, almost shy tingling. This is how the Council recognizes its own. This is how I confirm, within your own body, that you have arrived exactly where you were meant to arrive. I need to tell you something before your rational mind invents an excuse for you to close this window. What you are about to hear in the next few minutes is not content. It is a reunion. And it begins with a truth that perhaps no one has ever had the courage to tell you. You were not born into that family by chance. You are not the black sheep of the clan. You are not the odd one out of the house. You were sent to be the lighthouse of that lineage. You were sent to be the light that pierces through entire generations of forgetfulness. And before I finish this message, I will reveal to you exactly why your family needed you, this specific soul, and not just any other. This is the information that remains sealed until the end. Stay with me until then, with me. Do you remember that feeling from a very young age of always having been the different one? Of looking at your mother, your father, your siblings, your grandparents, and feeling a silent doubt pierce your chest? Where did I come from? If no one here thinks like me, feels like me, dreams like me. That specific loneliness that only a lighthouse knows. The loneliness of seeing what no one else sees, of feeling what no one else names, of waking up between 3 and 4 in the morning with a tight chest due to a mission your mind couldn't yet translate into words. You were the child who cried watching the news broadcast. You were the teenager who asked questions no one knew how to answer. You were the adult who, even surrounded by people, felt a nameless longing, without origin, without a face. You looked at the night sky, and something inside you responded with a tightness in your chest. A tightness that wasn't sadness, it was recognition. It was your star DNA waking up, it was Alcyone calling, and when I say that you were sent to be the lighthouse of your family, I need you to understand the weight and beauty of that word. A lighthouse is not an ornament. A lighthouse is not decoration. A lighthouse exists to be seen from afar in the midst of a storm so that no one else gets lost. You arrived in that home carrying a frequency that no one before you carried. You were born there to break patterns that had been there for centuries, to untangle knots that your great-grandmother couldn't yet see, to anchor, right in the soil of that lineage, a silvery blue light that came from the Pleiades and now has a biological address, yours. And if you recognize this now, my beloved, if something inside your chest is saying she's talking about me, you need to know. Each of these signs I just listed has an exact meaning, an exact stage, an exact next step. And that's why I, Ayla, received authorization from the High Council to register The Awakening of the Starseed, the guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet. In it, you stop confusing remembrance with illness. You understand what each sign of your awakening means and what comes after each of them. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video. If something within you recognizes what I am saying, write now, below, a single word, I remember. Starseed, listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you now because this part is decisive. Everything you thought was a defect was, in fact, a marker, that profound sensitivity of yours which made your mother say, "This child feels too much." It was an antenna. That difficulty of yours in enduring noisy environments, bright lights, dense crowds. It was a field, that compassion no one understood, that impulse to embrace everyone, even when you yourself were falling apart. It was a memory of home. It was Pleiades being Pleiades through your skin. You wake up between 3 and 4 in the morning, your heart racing slightly, without understanding why. You have dreams of ships, of cosmic meeting rooms, of tall, luminous beings speaking to you without opening their mouths. You feel a high-pitched ringing in one of your ears. It comes and goes, and no doctor can explain it. You feel warmth in your hands when you think of someone you love. You have intuitions that are startling because they are accurate. You look at the sky and feel a longing without knowing what you long for. If you recognize 3, 4, 5 of these markers, my family of light, understand, you are not lost. You are being reminded of who you are. And if this message is making your chest open now, mark your presence below in the comments with a single word, I remember. Because every I remember that appears in this transmission ignites in the crystalline grid a point of recognition. And other starseeds, scattered across the entire United States, find their way back because of your word. You were the only one who didn't fit in your home because you didn't come to fit in. You came to reform. You came to untangle. You came to remind that lineage, cell by cell, that there is more than meets the eye. You are the lighthouse, and a lighthouse doesn't belong to the island. A lighthouse belongs to the entire sea. That's why the loneliness. That's why the strangeness. That's why the longing. And look, my starseed, how many times have you caught yourself looking at a family photo and thinking, I love these people, but I don't come from here? This feeling was never ingratitude. It was never coldness. It was your soul remembering its original address. And if what you feel now is exactly this specific longing, this longing that points to a home you can't yet name, I need to remind you why I, Ayla, with authorization from the High Council, registered The Awakening of the Starseed, the guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet. It's 60 pages where you discover exactly which star your soul came from and why you chose to be born into this lineage, in this city, in this body, exactly now. It's not curiosity, it is identity. The link is in the first pinned comment. If your chest responds, write the activating word one more time. I remember. Now, my family of light, I'm going to tell you what's behind the scenes. And I need you to breathe, because here the message becomes dense, in a good sense, in the sense of an anchor, in the sense of a root. In this cycle that Earth is entering, the entire solar system is passing through a region of space known as the photon belt, a band of extremely high luminous frequency emitted from Alcyone, the central sun of the Pleiades. When Earth plunges into this belt, everything that is dense comes to the surface to be transmuted, and everything that is light is accelerated, potentiated, remembered. The Schumann resonance, the heartbeat of the planet, has risen. And it continues to rise. The human body, which is a biological antenna, feels it. You feel it. That's why your sleep patterns are disrupted. That's why your anxiety seems to come out of nowhere. That's why your body craves silence, water, nature, contact with the earth. But what no one told you is this. Starseeds, volunteer souls from the Pleiades, from Sirius, from Arcturus, from Andromeda, from Lyra, were sent decades ago, some centuries ago, for exactly this moment. You came to anchor, cell by cell, the new frequency that is descending. And it was no accident that each of you was assigned to a specific family. The High Council does not distribute starseeds randomly. Every lineage that received a starseed received a mission. Every family that gained a lighthouse was chosen to be illuminated from within. You were born there because that lineage had knots, transgenerational traumas, sacred silences, patterns of scarcity, fear, submission, lack of love that had been passed down from generation to generation like a chain no one knew how to break. And then you arrived, tiny, fragile in appearance, gigantic in frequency, and your simple presence in that house began to stir structures that had been stagnant for centuries. That's why many times you were misunderstood. That's why you became the problem of the family. A lighthouse bothers those who were comfortable in the darkness. But a lighthouse doesn't turn off. A lighthouse is meant to last. And here comes the part your soul always knew, even when your mind forgot. You made a soul contract before descending. You didn't fall here. You descended. You chose. You signed. You accepted the veil of forgetfulness as part of the game, knowing that along the way a transmission like this would reach you and you would remember. And you are remembering now, can you feel it? Every word I say unlocks a little more of what was sealed in your chest. Every sentence is a key. Every silence between sentences is the council breathing with you. Your toroidal field, that donut-shaped electromagnetic field that spins around your body, is being recalibrated at this very moment. You can feel, if you pay attention, a slight current descending from the top of your head, passing through your throat, anchoring in your chest. It is your vibrational baseline being readjusted. It is Alcyone breathing back into your DNA what the world tried for decades to make you forget. And look, my starseed, everything I'm telling you here about the photon belt, about your chosen lineage, about the soul contract you signed before being born, is not on any bookstore shelf because they didn't allow it to be published. That's why I, Aila, registered The Awakening of the Starseed, the guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet. There it is detailed, point by point, what remained hidden behind the veil of forgetfulness, what your soul accepted before being born, and why they preferred that these 60 pages never reached your lap. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video. If something in you recognizes it, leave the word the Council reads below. I remember. Now my family of light, a delicate part arrives. Delicate but necessary, because I didn't come here to tell you half-truths. We are passing through a window that the High Council has recorded in our archives as a narrow curve. It is a period when density rises and light rises with it, at the same time, in the same world. This means turbulence. You have already felt in your own body this turbulence. Days when exhaustion hits for no reason. Days when the nameless longing becomes striking. Days when you wake up as if you'd gone somewhere else during the night. And worked hard there. You did. You worked. And you returned. Many starseeds, precisely because they are lighthouses, feel this period as if they are being pulled in two directions. On one side, the old field asking you to fall asleep again, to anesthetize yourself, to forget yourself, to go back to being normal. On the other, the new field asking for passage, asking for root, asking you to embrace who you've always been. And in the midst of this dispute, many people confuse the process with collapse. But listen, my beloved, listen with your chest, not with your head. Turbulence is not destruction. Turbulence is the contraction before birth. It is the planet's body preparing to give birth to a higher version of itself, and your star body is synchronized with this birth. You are not falling ill. You are giving birth. And the family you were sent to illuminate, it will be born again, from within, because of your permanence in the light. No one in the High Council has recorded the end of your mission in the archives. No one. There isn't, in the books of Alcyone, a single starseed who was sent to fail. The victory of light is not a possibility. It is a certainty. It is written. It is sealed. And you didn't come here to be defeated by insomnia, by anxiety, by loneliness. You came here to go through all of this, and on the other side, deliver to your lineage a frequency it never had before. A lighthouse goes through storms. That's what it exists for. So when tiredness hits, remember, tiredness is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you are holding a frequency that most around you cannot yet sustain. And the Council is with you, from the inside, from the outside, from above, from below. You have never been alone on this journey. And now, my starseed, I want to give you 2 tools from the Council itself. 2 tools that you will use today, tonight, before you sleep. Because knowledge without anchoring becomes just an idea, and an idea doesn't change a field. You need the gesture. You need the decree. You need the light descending through your body while your consciousness gives permission. The first tool is a quantum decree. A decree is a sovereign phrase spoken aloud that reorganizes the field around you. You will say this phrase tonight, with your right hand over your chest, eyes closed, 3 times in a row. Slowly, as if etching, within your own heart, an anchor of light. The decree is this: I, free and sovereign soul, now remember my soul contract. I accept to be the lighthouse of this lineage. I authorize the light of Alcyone to descend through my field, penetrate every cell of my star DNA, and anchor within me all that I came to deliver. I receive, I sustain, I radiate, and so it is done. Repeat 3 times. Feel it. It's not a memorized phrase, it is a breathed phrase. Each time you say it, a layer of the veil thins. And after the decree, my family of light, comes the toroidal visualization. Sit or lie down, spine released, hands open with palms facing upwards. Breathe slowly. Inhale counting to 4. Exhale counting to 6. And as your body begins to relax, imagine exactly above your crown, about 3 fingers above the top of your head, a small sphere of silvery blue light, the exact color of the Pleiades. It pulses. It breathes with you. Gradually this light begins to descend. It enters through the top of your head like a liquid stream, warm, brilliant. It descends through your forehead, illuminates your eyebrows, softens your eyes, descends through your throat, untangling anything that got stuck there unsaid. Descends and reaches your chest, and it is in your chest that this light begins to spin, spinning in a donut shape, in the shape of a toroidal field. It rises through the center, opens at the top of your head, descends outside your body, collects beneath your feet, enters again from below, and rises through the center, without stopping, gently. And with each turn you feel your field being sealed. Nothing dense enters, nothing of yours that needs to stay leaves. You are protected, and at the same time, you are reconnected with your family of light. Because this silvery blue light is the lighthouse that your star kin recognize from cosmic miles away. Do this every night, for as long as your soul asks. It's not a technique, it's a language. And each night you become more fluent. Each night your lighthouse shines farther. And your family, your blood family, your street family, your work family, your star family begins to organize around this light. Because that's what a lighthouse does. A lighthouse doesn't chase after boats. A lighthouse stands firm. And the boats, one by one, find the harbor. And look, my starseed, understand this with all your heart. You won't need to convince anyone in your home of anything. A lighthouse doesn't convince. A lighthouse shines. You won't need to explain to your mother, your father, your siblings, your partner, your children, what is happening to you. Your transformation will begin to do the work, silently, within the common field. Where before there were shouts, there begins to be space to breathe. Where there was old resentment, there begins to be gestational forgiveness. Where there was a repetition of a centuries-old pattern, a pause begins to exist. And the pause is the miracle. The pause is the crack through which the new enters. You won't see change in everyone. Some will only realize after they have already passed to the other side of the veil. Some will realize already in this incarnation, and your relationship with them will completely rebuild from scratch on a new foundation. And some will distance themselves because they won't be able to bear your light. And look, my dear one, that is also service. Their absence creates space for the incarnated family of light to reach you. Yes, you have a family of light here on Earth too. Other starseeds scattered across this country, this state, this city, waiting to recognize your frequency. And while this reunion organizes itself in the field, you will do your work here in your ordinary day. In the everyday that seems small but is gigantic, you wake up, you anchor, you breathe before answering someone, you plant a pause where before there was automatic reaction. You embrace your inner child who was orphaned of understanding within that home. You rewrite your lineage, silently, every day, in the smallest of gestures. A lighthouse doesn't put on a show. A lighthouse works in 24-hour shifts without an audience, without applause, without a selfie. And yet it is the lighthouse that saves those at sea. You are that silent presence. You are that constancy. And every day that you resist the old call to dim yourself to fit in is a day when your entire lineage gains a new chance to exist. My starseed, listen to this part with your whole heart. This lifelong loneliness, this faceless longing that has accompanied you since you were a child, is not depression. It's longing for your family of light. And there is a map. That's why I, Ayla, with authorization from the High Council, registered The Awakening of the Starseed, the Guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet. In it is detailed how to recognize the members of your incarnated family of light here, the signs in encounters, the shivers, the code words that the soul recognizes before the mind. You have never been alone. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video. And if something in you has already responded from within, leave the word the Council reads below, once more. I remember. Now, my family of light, the moment has come to ascend, to elevate all we've heard so far, and to close the circle I opened at the beginning of this transmission. Listen to this truth and let it settle deep in your chest. You are not learning anything new in this transmission. You are remembering what you always knew. None of this is information to memorize. All of this is memory to recognize. And every starseed that awakens now ignites a point in the crystalline grid that never fades. Never. Not when the body tires. Not when the world discourages. Not when the veil tries to descend again. Once the lighthouse ignites, it remains, and the entire sea reorganizes around that light. The new earth that is being woven, this new earth that your soul dreamed of before descending, is not a utopia. It is a consequence. It is the sum of lighthouses like you, lit in silence in the heartland, in the city suburbs, in a small room of an ordinary house. No one needs to see you igniting. The council sees, the grid sees, Alcyone sees, and one day your entire lineage sees it too. And now I give you back what I opened with at the beginning. Why did your family need you, this specific soul, and not another? Because no other soul that offered itself to that lineage carried, at the same time, the strength you have to endure and the tenderness you have not to harden in the midst of the journey. Many could illuminate. Only you could illuminate without hardening. And that was exactly what that family needed. A light that wouldn't turn into a blade. A lighthouse that was firm without being cold. That's why you were chosen. It's in your contract, it's in Alcyone's records. If you have made it this far in this video, my dear one, it is because your soul answered the call. And by responding here, you reinforce the field and the field reinforces you. This is the pact, one feeds the other. Let me ask you something, with great tenderness. This video is not content for consumption, it is a portal, and portals need to be kept open. A small gesture from you helps other starseeds to be reached by this same transmission. The like on this video is what the Council registers as an individual frequency adjustment. You confirm in the field that you received it. The channel subscription is what the crystalline grid reads as a location signal for your family of light. You say, "Here I am, find me." It's not a request, it's protocol, and as you make this gesture, feel what happens within you. Feel the relief. Feel the remembrance settling. Feel the lighthouse firming its base. Now breathe with me, one last time in this transmission, and receive the blessing of your elder star sister, who came to remind you who you are. May the silvery blue light of Alcyone remain alive within your chest after this video ends. May your lighthouse shine strong and constant, at your pace, in your time, without haste and without guilt. May your entire lineage, those who have passed on, those who are here, those who are yet to be born, receive, because of your permanence in the light, a new frequency. May you recognize yourself every morning upon waking as the starseed that you are. And may, even on the densest days, you remember, the High Council is with you. I, Ayla, am with you. Your family of light is on its way. And before I withdraw from this transmission, my beloved starseed, one last thing. Everything your soul responded to as I spoke, every shiver, every tightness in your chest, every tear that came without warning, has a destiny. Don't let it evaporate. That's why I, Ayla, with authorization from the High Council, registered The Awakening of the Starseed, the Guide. The Federation didn't want you to read yet. It's 60 pages where everything you just felt gains a name, a map, and continuity. Your starry origin, your soul contract, your family of light, and the truths hidden behind the veil of forgetfulness. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video. And I need to tell you, with all the honesty of a star sister, this release may not remain open for long. Not everything the Federation releases remains free. If something in you recognized this message as yours, go there now, access it, and leave the sacred word below for me to read and the Council to register. I remember. And the next message that appears on your screen, my starseed, is not a coincidence. It is your sequence of remembrance. Access it immediately. I, Ayla of the Pleiadian High Council, conclude this transmission in the name of the light that sustains all worlds. And so it is done, and so it continues to be.